morning, YouTube. This is day 2 of the attic furnace. If you saw part 1, which was yesterday, basically I spent the whole day getting ready to get started. I had to cut a hole bigger in the ceiling. If you haven't seen it, it's called Swap Out Attic Furnace Part 1, and it should be on my channel somewhere. I haven't figured out a way to put boxes here or there, or however Billy Knopf does it. But I'm going to go down and get the equipment out of the attic. Then hopefully the stuff will come in on the truck this morning. I can go pick it up and start putting the new stuff back in. So I will see you at the job. Okay guys, we're back up in the attic. I was going to show you, I took this apart last night, but I hadn't drug it out of here yet. But where the newer coil had been put on the existing furnace at one time, there was, I guess, no good way to get up under here and seal this. So there wound up being, you can see it's just a piece of metal, and it wound up being about a 1/2 inch gap right there. I could put my finger in it when I started taking it apart and reach up under there looking for fasteners. So I'm going to, my coil will actually be the same width as the furnace, or it's supposed to be. I guess I shouldn't say that until I get it. So I'll be able to put it together and seal it before I put the whole thing over here. But what I think I'm going to do, you can see how they modified this existing plenum to fit the coil that was here. I think what I'm going to do is cap the end of that plenum and put a 16-inch round takeoff. I can cut the plenum back or move the furnace down or something, but anyway, I will wind up with I'll go ahead and get it insulated. All I'll have sticking out will be a 16-inch round takeoff. And then I bought a transition for my furnace, or for my coil, that's rectangle to 16 round, so I can use a short piece of 16-inch to put this thing together, because it's so tight back in here. I can see why they couldn't seal underneath it. So what I wind up doing is having a small coupler of 16-inch flex between the two 16-inch rounds, and that way I can actually you know, paint that with duct mastic, slip the flex up on it, band it, and it should be good and airtight. And of course on this end down here, I'm going to take out that existing 14-inch flex and put in a piece of 16 on the return over there. I'll open the hole up in that return box to 16-inch. I bought the same rectangle to round transition to go on the return side of my new furnace. So I'll have to, you know, modify it a little bit, but I'll make it work. And that way, hopefully all the connections up here will be airtight. I'm going to take this support structure they got in here out and deck it for about a 30 by 60 pan, which my whole entire furnace and coil will fit inside of. I'm going to jack it up at this point with some 4-inch cinder block to you know, keep it up out of the pan. And I've talked to a few of you guys. I'm going to not trap this thing. It stopped up once last year, at least once last year. You can tell by the pan how much water's been in it over the years. But it's got several 90s. It goes around here and down through the wall and then turns, and I don't know what all it does, but it eventually comes out on the outside. But I think having it on the positive pressure side, it'll keep it cleaned out a little better if it don't have that trap on it. I'm sure we'll waste a little bit of air outside, but it'll be negligible compared to what she was losing before, and she hopefully won't have any trouble with the drain stopping up. So that's where we are. I'm gonna go ahead and carry this mess down and get started building my platform for my new drain pan. gets outside, I had to hug it. Okay guys, I'm going to, this is what it looks like with nothing up here. Like I say, I'm going to tear this apart and build me a platform down at the normal level so I can set a drain pan and then raise the furnace up on some blocks. The way that drip leg is, it's made just to catch condensate. In order to catch sediment, you need to have a turn of direction. I may leave that as is and come over, go down into my furnace, my new furnace. I have to be able to loop back and come into the valve on my new furnace because it's going to be laying here, and the way the gas valve's positioned, I'll have to make a U-turn. So I could put a particulate trap or a sediment trap right there, just a short one, to catch anything that might come through the line before it got to the gas valve. So I'll look at that when the time comes, but that's what I'm thinking right now. And of course my flue, I'll have to figure out what to do about hooking it back to the new furnace once I have it up here. But for now, get the return out of here, tear up this wood cradle, build a platform. Got an unusual angle where it comes up through the wall up there, and I'm going to try to extend it on out to the front of the unit so we don't have all those 90s. So I just made me a custom bend. So hopefully this will be the right angle and it'll do away with several fittings and square us back up and get us back out in front of the unit, or you can actually see the thing if you need to do something to it, like blow it out. So we're going to cut that 90 off and eliminate a 90, 45, a coupling, a 90, a 90, and then eventually, I guess that's all we really eliminate, with one straight piece of pipe and a coupling. We'll get it out underneath the unit so we can get it up in the front here where we put our drain float switch and everything. Here's the piece I just cut out. I could feel it moving. '90 wasn't glued. I didn't know where it was moving at, but the '90 wasn't glued back there behind the unit where you couldn't even see it. Scary. So here's what we got now. We've got a coupling right there, Comes a long sweep around, and it comes right out here. I've got a rag stuck in it right here, but I'll be cutting it off somewhere in this general area. I just not sure yet until I get the coil up here. But at any rate, that'll be much more direct. Here's a little tip on making straight cuts with your skill saw. I needed some 3/4 inch thick pieces to level my platform up. So you just get your saw started and clip a pair of vice grips on the fence. And there you go. Don't even have to mark it. Okay, here's the platform. It has just a little bit of fall this way and a little bit of fall this way, hopefully to facilitate the coil that's going to be on this end to drain out to this corner. And now I've got a place I can set while I'm working on that duct. I like to insulate everything I can before I go up in the attic, especially on a job this tight. So what I've done is masticed up all my joints on these transitions and elbows. I'm setting it out here so it can dry, so it won't get all over me while when I'm putting the insulation on. So I'll go on inside and work while these dry. Okay, got this transition piece made and installed on the ductwork. Use mastic to go all around it. Once it dries, I can cut a piece of insulation and put around it. And this duct's insulated on the inside, but of course this piece I made isn't, so I'll wrap it around and tape it good. And that'll be one airtight spot, and then we can put the piece on the unit. And it may couple together direct, or I may have to use a short piece of flex, but either way it'll be a good way to be able to get an airtight seal here in this tight quarters. Well guys, day 2 is over. I just left the parts house, picked up the equipment. I was planning on going much earlier and getting it and going back to the job, but it just didn't work out that way. It took a while to get the platform leveled up for the new unit. The ceiling joists are really out of whack up there, but I've got it all the way I wanted it. Got the platform built, got the return modified, and the T and the takeoff put on it and insulated. When I was over there at the return, I was checking out the thermostat wire where it went down into the wall, and it had been damaged. It was actually cut through. All the insulation was gone off about 3 of the 5 wires that was in there. I'm surprised it hadn't shorted out. So it was real small gauge wire too. So I went ahead and pulled a new piece of thermostat wire using the old wire to pull it up through the wall. So I got that done before I left. In the morning, I should just be able to unload equipment and start putting it back, but we'll see. I'll look and see how much video I got today. If it's enough to make a 15-minute video, I'll go ahead and try to stick together a day 2. If not, I will just combine it with day 3, day 4. Maybe not day 4, we'll see. Well, for now, I'm going to go get something to eat. Even my car nags me. I'm going to go get something to eat, take this stuff home, and I might tinker at the house a little bit on some of this ductwork. I didn't get it all insulated. I just threw it in the front of the van here and brought it with me in case I had time tonight to do it. Well, I have time. It'll just be a matter of, do I have the gumption? Prepping tonight, so hopefully I can get more done tomorrow morning.